Hi everybody, I want to welcome you to our yoga class today. My name is Trudi, I'm a volunteer with the County of Brant, and thank you for joining us today. So we are going to just start our class. We're going to come into Reclined Pose, so just you can lie back on your mat. So just come into a comfortable reclined pose. You have your arms at your side with the palms up, legs about the width of the mat. You can just close your eyes and just start to bring your mind to your breath. So you're inhaling deep into the belly. As you exhale, just releasing, just letting go of whatever it took to get here today, whatever else you've got to do today. Just letting that go, just noticing the breath. Maybe setting an intention for the class, something you'd like to increase in your day. Maybe you could use a bit more peace or some calm. You could think about inhaling that in, exhaling away any stresses or tensions. It's been a pretty difficult time for a lot of folks. So just take a few moments to kind of let all that go. And then let's draw your right knee into your chest. And you can just start to make some gentle circles with that knee. So as though you had a pencil attached to the top of your knee and you're drawing circles, and you gradually make those circles a little bit bigger. Just noticing how that hip's feeling today. And then we can reverse that direction, drawing your circles in the opposite direction and gradually making them a little bit smaller. It's okay if you can't draw your knee right in, you can just maybe hang on to your pant leg or something. Remember throughout the class just to really mind your joints. If anything's hurting a joint or it's not comfortable, you want to back off or take an alternative, and I'll try to give lots of those through the class. Let's switch sides, releasing that knee, drawing the left knee into the chest. And again, starting to make those really small circles with that knee and gradually making them a little bit bigger. So just remember to do the yoga that's right for you today. We're all at a different fitness level. We've all got different injuries or challenges. So really just respect where your body's at. Let's switch direction there. And yoga should never be hurting your joints or stressing your body. And gradually making that circle a little bit smaller, just noticing how that hip's feeling today. And then releasing that out. Let's move to a little bit of breath practice. We're going to inhale the arms overhead, maybe getting them all the way back to touching the floor behind, or if not, no worries, exhaling that, bringing them back down. So just following with your breath, linking the movements to breath, inhaling overhead, exhaling, releasing the arms back down. So throughout the class, you can think about trying to link your movements to the breath. Let's do one more. Inhaling overhead. This time, let's hold the arms overhead. Try to keep the shoulders on the mat. And we're just going to walk those fingers around to the left side at the same time as we kind of walk our legs around to the left side. So we're making the letter C with our body. But we're trying to keep our shoulders down the mat, so we're not rolling up like that. And then if you'd like, you can cross your right ankle over left, and you should feel a nice side bend on the right side. So let's just breathe into that. Give the muscles a little time to stretch out. And then unhooking that ankle, let's walk the arms and the legs round to the other side, keeping them on the floor, making the letter C in the other direction, this time crossing the left ankle over right. And again, feeling that nice stretch in the left hip. And then let's unhook that ankle, walk the arms and legs back to center, and we're going to come into dead bug. So first you can raise your arms up to the ceiling and just let your wrists flex and flop, and then let's bring the legs up too. So like we're a dead bug with our arms and legs hanging up to the ceiling. And then let's just paddle out the feet and the ankles, the wrists and the hands, and maybe you can just stretch out the wrists there by pulling on the fingers, just really gently. If you do a lot of keyboarding work, that can be a nice stretch. And then maybe sending the wrists in the opposite direction. Stretching out across the top of the forearm. And then let's do the other side, just gently drawing the palm back. Maybe still rolling out those ankles a bit. And then pulling down gently on the front of the palm of the hand, stretching out the top of that forearm. And now we're either going to just stay in dead bug like this with our arms and legs hanging up, or you can start to engage your core. So we're drawing the belly button down, trying to keep the small of the back flat against the floor. And as we exhale, we're releasing the right arm and the left leg, still pulling that belly button down to the floor. And then we're going to inhale that back up, and then exhaling the opposite arm and leg. If you find this a bit much, you can just do the arms, or you can bend the knee and exhale that leg down with the arm. So lots of different options. Just play around with it, see what's working for you. Let's alternate the arm and leg you've got down, inhaling back up, exhaling, releasing. Let's do one more on each side. Keeping that core really engaged. Drawing that belly button down to the floor. And then let's release, draw the knees into the chest, rock a little bit from side to side. So from here, we're going to place the feet on the floor. We've got the knees bent. We're going to take our right ankle and just put it over, just below our left knee. So on our thigh there. And then you can just push against the right thigh gently. So this is like you're making a figure 4 with your leg. And you should feel it a little bit in your right glute. If that's enough for you, you could just stay right there. Or you can start to draw that left thigh towards the body. Let's keep both feet flexed. You can use your right elbow to push against your right thigh. And that should give you a nice glute stretch there in your figure 4. That's a big muscle, so let's give it a few breaths to just stretch out. Continuing to use your exhales to just try to release any stress or tension in the body. Let's take one more breath on this side. And then we're going to release that left foot down to the mat. Uncross that ankle, and this time we're going to take the left ankle and put it up above the right knee. Again, you're pushing gently away on that left thigh. The foot is flexed, and the option to draw that right thigh in towards the body with your figure 4 there. Again, getting that nice stretch. And again, we're going to take a couple of breaths on this side, just noticing if it's different to the other side. So we've all got different strains in our bodies. So just breathing in some kindness to that joint or that area. And then releasing that down. Let's uncross that ankle. We're going to keep the knees bent. Feet are about hip width apart. We're coming into bridge pose. So first let's start by just tucking the pelvis, keeping the small of the back on the floor. And then as you inhale, you can just gently raise the hips. And that might be enough for you, just a tiny raise. Or you can start to raise them up a bit higher. Maybe coming right up onto your shoulders. One of the key things here is to keep your knees in line with your hips. So you don't want your knees to go wide out to the side. You want to pretend you have a block between your knees and you're squeezing that block together. And then we're going to just exhale, releasing the hips down to the mat, kind of one vertebra at a time. So you can just continue with that movement, inhaling the hips up, exhaling them down, or on your next inhale, you can hold the hips in the raised position, still remembering to have that pretend block between your knees. You can start to tuck your shoulder blades under and push into the mat with your forearms and your hands. And as you inhale, try to keep the hips a little bit higher. So that's another nice one. If you find that too much, just exhale down, inhale up. If it's all a bit too much, you can just draw your knees into your chest and rock from side to side. If you'd like to add intensity, on your inhale, you can inhale your right leg up, pointing the toes up to the ceiling. Try to keep those hips level with where they were before. Exhaling that down. Let's inhale up on the left side, pointing those toes. Still trying to keep those hips parallel to the floor. And then exhaling that down. Let's have one more inhale, raising the hips up as high as we can. And then on your exhale, let's untuck those shoulder blades and gently, one vertebra at a time, releasing all the way back down to the mat. Drawing the knees into the chest, giving it a little rock from side to side. Maybe bringing the nose right up to the knees, coming into ball pose. Really getting a nice stretch out. And then let's just roll ourselves up to seated, or coming up to seated however you can. So from here, we're going to do a little bit of a twist. So let us take our left knee and bend it. And then we're going to step that foot over the right leg. Let's sit up on our sitting bones. And as we exhale, we're going to exhale towards our bent knee, floating our left arm around behind, looking over our left shoulder. So as we inhale, we're inhaling tall. And as we exhale, we're releasing into that twist. So you can close your eyes. Think about relaxing your forehead, relaxing your shoulders. Just looking over that shoulder. Letting each inhale draw you tall, each exhale a little further into that twist. And then releasing that, coming back to center. Let's step that leg out, the left leg. We're going to bend the right knee, step it over the left leg, sitting up tall. As we exhale, we're twisting towards our bent knee, floating that right arm around behind and looking over the right shoulder this time. We're inhaling tall, exhaling into the twist. Again, you can close those eyes, release any stress in your forehead, and just use your breath to get a little deeper into the twist. Let's take one more breath here, and then exhaling, releasing to center. So let's straighten both legs out. And then we're going to bend the left knee again, but this time we're going to place it down and put that sole of the left foot against the inner right thigh. There we're going to inhale up, and as we exhale, we're going to reach out past the right toes, try to keep our back as flat as we can. And then as we get about as far as we can go, and everybody's flexibility is a little different, we're just going to release the arms, let the head and neck hang. So some of you may be right flat on your thigh, and others may be way up, and some of us will be in between, and it's all fine. All we're trying to do is just stretch out that hamstring, just doing what's right for our bodies today. You don't need to be pulling on your leg, you just use your breath to exhale and release. Letting the head hang. Just noticing your breath. And then on your next inhale, we're going to inhale up and past those toes. We're going to turn so our body's facing our bent knee. And as we exhale, we're just going to do a side bend over that straight leg. So really reaching out through those fingers, getting a nice long stretch. And remembering to breathe. And then exhaling, releasing that. Let's plant that hand on the floor. So option to either keep your hip on the mat and just stretch out, or you can pivot up onto that knee and stretch all the way down that side. Maybe just opening up, maybe even bending, leaning back a little bit. And then exhaling, releasing that down. So let's do that on the other side. So this time we're going to draw the right sole of the foot to the left inner thigh. We're going to inhale up, exhale, reaching out past those toes. When you get where you're going, just release the hands, release the head and neck, just let them hang. And just use your breath to exhale and release into the fold, not doing any pulling with the hands. And just continue with that breathing, exhaling, releasing, and close your eyes. And then on your next inhale, we're going to reach past the toes again, come all the way up. We're going to turn and face our bent knee, and then exhale and do a side bend over that straight leg, stretching the fingers away, opening to the side. Taking a couple of breaths here. And then exhaling that down, planting the hand at your side. Again, you can keep your hip down on this side, or you can pivot right up, reaching all the way down that one side, maybe even reaching a little bit back. And then exhaling and coming all the way down. So let's come into just a full forward fold now. So we're sitting with both legs straight out. We're sitting on our sitting bones, trying to keep our back up as straight as we can. We're going to inhale up, exhale, falling forward. And again, just wherever you get to, just release your arms, let your head and neck hang. You can bend your knees quite a lot if you'd like. Trying to get a stretch through the back of the legs, maybe a little bit in the lower back. So think about it as you inhale, drawing your spine long, as you exhale, releasing. Just taking a couple of breaths here. And then your next inhale, reaching past those toes, coming all the way up. Let's plant the hands behind us with the fingers pointing towards our buttocks. We're going to point our toes, and we're coming into reverse table. So in reverse table, we're coming like a plank, so we're trying to keep a line straight from our toes right to our head. If you find that a bit tough, you can bend your knees and come like this. So it can be quite hard on your shoulders. So just do whatever pose is working for you, or just give it a little moment and rest. And then exhaling, releasing that all the way down. So from here, we're going to come onto our hands and knees. So we want to have our knees right under our hips and our wrists right under our shoulders. And first off, we're going to come into cat and cow. So in cat, as we exhale, we're going to round the back, we're going to drop the head, tuck the tailbone, and open through the shoulder blades. And then as you inhale, you want to sink the belly, squeeze the shoulder blades together, open through the chest, and your tailbone's going up to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, just going back to cat. So we're trying to get some flexibility through our spine. So just taking it at your own pace. And just noticing all those little movements. Let's do one more. Squeezing those shoulder blades together, dropping that belly, and then rounding the back, opening to the shoulder blades, tucking the pelvis. And then coming back to a nice neutral spine. So we're coming into something called Sunbirds. So a couple of options here. You can straighten out your right leg and just have your toe on the mat. Sorry, that was my left leg. And right arm's floating up, but whichever one. So it's the opposite arm and leg. So you can either have the toe on the mat behind you, or you can inhale that up so that you've got them both parallel to the floor. And we're just going to hold there for a little bit. We're reaching out as though we're trying to touch the opposite walls with our toe and our fingers. We're looking down at the mat. A little bit of a balance here. And then we're going to exhale and release that down. And inhale up on the other side. So again, opposite arm and leg, so you can get a little bit of a balance here. And we're just reaching them in the opposite directions. And exhaling that back down. So this time we're going to inhale up the left leg, and we're going to swing it around to the right and just let it land on the floor. And then we're going to look around at that ankle. So we're getting a little bit of a side bend here. I'm going to move forward so you can see. So my foot's right on the floor and I'm looking around at it. And then releasing that back to center. We're going to go on the other side. We're going to inhale up the right leg this time, swing it around to the left, and then look around at that ankle. And then inhaling that back to center. Let's come down to child's pose. So in child's pose, you're bringing your bum to your heels. You can either have your knees wide or together. You're going to slide the hands out in front. And maybe place your forehead right onto the mat. Or if it's not making it there, you can make a little pillow with your fists or your hands. And let's just stretch the fingers out, trying to get the bum back to the heels. And let's just take a couple of breaths there. And then releasing that, we're going to come up to seated. And we're going to sit around onto the back. And we're going to come into boat pose because we're coming back down onto the floor here. So in boat pose, you're going to engage your torso and just lean back. So you're using the strength of your stomach muscles to hold you up. And your knees can be bent with the toes on the floor. And then you bring your arms to your side. And so you're sort of sitting back, engaging, holding your torso up with your stomach muscles. And then you can either add one leg or both, coming into our boat pose here. So sort of a V shape. Trying to keep the chest open. Option to add. So you can either have your toes on the mat or the legs up. And we're just going to gently release all the way down to the mat with lots of control. And then draw those knees into the chest. Let's have a little rock from side to side. And then release that. We're going to stretch the arms up overhead. And we're coming into stick asana or stick pose. So we're just reaching the fingers away, the toes are stretching the opposite direction. We're engaging every muscle in the body. We're just as straight as we can be. Let's scrunch all the muscles in our face. Everything's tight. And then as you exhale, just release with a and just let your arms and legs go. And just notice the difference between when your body's really tense and when it's relaxed. And let's do that one more time, coming into our stick asana. Really stretching the fingers away from the toes, engaging every muscle in the body, really tightening, scrunching up your face. And then as you exhale, just release. Just letting that go. From here, we're coming into end relaxation. So you can bring your arms to your side with the palms up. Legs are about the width of the mat. If your lower back's a little sore, you can bend your knees, or sometimes it's nice to place the soles of the feet together and let the knees go wide. So see what's comfortable for you. We're going to bring our mind back to our breath. Just noticing those inhales, feeling your belly swell up. And then as you exhale, releasing. Just letting go of any tension. You can stay in your reclined pose or you can come up to seated, whichever works for you. Sometimes it's nicer for end relaxation to be lying. So whatever pose you're in, you can close your eyes. Just start to bring your mind to your breath. Inhaling deeply. As you exhale, try to release any stress or tension in the body. Really let your arms and legs go so they feel like they're melting into the mat. You can just feel them grow heavy. And as I name parts of your body, you can bring your attention or your breath to those areas. Let's start with the crown of the head, the forehead, the face, and the jaw. And let's just really consciously relax all the muscles there. Just letting them go soft. Releasing any stress or tension, letting go of any worries. And then bringing the breath to the shoulders, the arms, the fingers, the palms. Just letting the arms go. Just taking a few minutes here to rest and relax the body. Sometimes it's the most important part of a yoga class. Inhaling then your attention, your breath to your chest, your belly, your back, and your hips, and just let the whole torso relax. Slowing your breath down, maybe making the exhales a little longer than the inhales. Bringing that breath now to the thighs, the knees, the calves, ankles, and the soles of your feet. Let the whole body relax now. Just letting the arms and the legs get heavy. Noticing those inhales and those exhales. We're just going to stay here for a couple of breaths. Just knowing that just for this moment, there's nowhere you have to be, nothing you have to do, no one you have to look after. You can just be here now. Continuing with these nice slow breaths, knowing you can always use your breath to relax and calm the body. And then taking 2 more of your deepest breaths yet. Just let go of any last bits of stress or tension. Let go of any to-dos or any worries. Just letting them go for now. And then on your next inhale, you can start to bring some gentle movement to the body, maybe rolling out the wrists and ankles, maybe rocking the head from side to side. And when you're ready, you can roll over onto your right side and take a breath there before coming up to seated. Just taking your time, there's no hurry. And when we've all come back to seated, let's just take a sun breath to finish the class. So we're going to inhale the arms wide, really reaching the fingers away, inhaling all the way overhead. As we exhale, we're bringing our hands to heart center. Namaste. Thank you all for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the class, and I wish you a wonderful day and a great week. And thanks so much to the county for hosting the class. Take care, everybody.